pressure mounting now on the president of Harvard to follow the lead of Liz McGill, who stepped down from Penn late on Friday afternoon. One down, two to go is how the New York Congresswoman Elise Stefanik posted on X. She questioned the Ivy League leaders last week. Rabbi David Wolpe is with me now. He joined the anti-Semitism task force in October, and sir, you are done with it now. You quit. How come?
Well, because it was clear to me that we were not going to be able to make the kinds of changes that Harvard needed. And I want to make clear, I don't just mean the replacement of one person or another person. I'm talking about deep, really system-wide changes in the ideology and the procedures of the university.
Sir, can you help us understand that? Or can you give us a specific example, perhaps, that you have seen or experienced
I can give you an example from...
Yeah, go ahead, please.
I was going to say I could give you an experience from yesterday. Yesterday, students were sending me pictures of a protest in Widener Library as students were trying to study for finals, with signs and lists of people and accusations of genocide in the library itself. And classrooms have been disrupted. People eating lunch and dinner have been disrupted by protests. It's a band of students that apparently are not there to learn and to grow, have made it virtually impossible for some other students to do what you're supposed to do at college.
Mm-hmm. So the school would argue that's free speech. And you would argue it reaches a point where it's no longer allowed because it's crossing the line of being dangerous. How do we determine that, sir?
I would quote the Harvard professor herself, Danielle Allen, who said there's a difference between free speech and a climate of intimidation. And this has created a climate of intimidation. When students can't study, when they're afraid, when they don't want to go to their classroom, that's not anymore a question of free speech, not a university. If you want to express yourself in a paper or you want to say something publicly at a rally, nobody thinks that that's illegitimate. But that isn't what's going on here. What is going on here is that a certain group is being systematically targeted over and over and over again, supporters of Israel and particularly Jews.
I guess what I would add that is, I was looking at this Wall Street Journal poll that came out over the weekend. Now, this is sort of crosses political lines. It's not clear with Harvard, but Democrats under the age of 50 have more sympathy for the Palestinians than the Israelis by a margin of 35 to 13%. So it's either the power of the student body or it's the fact that the adults at that school allow it to happen.
Well, it's both. And adults here is a term that you can sometimes put in quotations, because adults are actually the ones who are supposed to supply the guardrails for younger people, and that's not happening.
Okay, I want to take you back to last week. The New York Times, by the way, reported late on Friday that all three presidents were consulted by the same law firm. And you think about the consistency of their answers. I mean, why did they think that would fly? Anyway, here's one of the exchanges with Claudine Gay and Elise Stefanik.
I assume you're familiar with the term intifada, correct?
I've heard that term, yes.
Do you believe that type of hateful speech is contrary to Harvard's code of conduct, or is it allowed at Harvard?
It is at odds with the values of Harvard.
Can you not say here that it is against the code of conduct at Harvard?
We embrace a commitment to free expression, even of views that are objectionable, offensive, hateful.
I don't know what you were thinking when you were watching that. You're probably about to rip your hair out. Will she survive at Harvard, yes or no?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I can't really answer that. What I would say is that what we were looking for as we were watching that was some indignation and some vision. Some anger, like, I can't believe this is happening at my university, and some vision of where the university would go. And it was so painful to not to get either.
Yeah. Sir, thank you for sharing your story. David Wolpe, Rabbi,
Sure.
Thank you. I just want to point out that you told us in the commercial break that you went to Penn. So unfortunately, you are now 0 for 2.
I covered them all.
Unbelievable. Thank you, sir, for coming on. Nice to see you.
Thank you.
All right.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.